pain is the reality of life, right? And this helps. I'm not talking
the
about
reality of life.
I'm not talking of heart pain because champions chose us. We are the choice of champions.
I know the run said it, but
as we
today's
can
run was a complete hit. The bodybuilding shows were happening. It required me to wear a bikini on stage. Trust me, I don't look bad in a bikini. So I said, fine, I will do this. Now currently I represent India for the Asia and the World Bodybuilding with the IBBF Federation. EAA makes a fabulous evening drink with your friends. I feel the creatine is good. Not necessarily it has to be post-workout. It could be used like I use creatine in the morning when I have my first protein shake. GNC. Thank you so much. I trust it completely, okay? Pretty or handsome? For lifetime.
Who doesn't want to?
If we have to do a rapid fire, he says one supplement, I say one supplement. In a sense, if I say magnesium,
I'll probably say zinc.
I will say melatonin.
Manganese, selenium.
Manganese, yes, selenium. I will say fish oil capsule.
I'll probably say calcium.
Somebody please give us more names.
Hey champs, welcome to another exciting episode of Decode Fitness with GNC. Today we have a very special guest. I'll be sitting with Nishriin Parikh and we are in Bombay today. Nishriin is an amazing person. She doesn't look her age at all, and at this age she remains very, very active. She is a mom, she is a bodybuilder, and she is a fitness and wellness coach. We'll be talking extremely exciting stuff about how she remains so active and so young even at this age. Let's dive into the podcast right away. Hi Nishriin, thanks for making it to the podcast. How was the run in the morning?
Oh my goodness, today's run was phenomenal because I was like, are people Mumbaikars going to come for this? And I walk in and I'm like 126 people. I'm like, this is a sure hit. It was really nice. Running was great. I walked a little bit. I didn't like, but it was great to meet everyone and happy to have spent the morning being very active.
No, thanks a lot. You were there and you were also an inspiration. But to start off with, at your age, you were running so much. Can I ask you about I know it's very wrong to ask a woman what her age is.
I think after 50 doesn't matter. You can ask a woman her age because the hair says it all.
But you don't look like 50. Okay. And you'll now say your age.
I can say thank you for that. I am going to turn 59 this year.
59?
Yeah, so I'm going to be like senior citizen next year. But no walking sticks for me because of the lifestyle I lead.
What is that lifestyle?
Okay, lifestyle is very hard for people to follow, but I would say that if you start becoming very disciplined in life, where your food is concerned, where your drinking water is concerned, you're not talking about drinking aerated drinks here. You know, sada pani, sada khana, and definitely active lifestyle. So, you know, like you can't sit here and say, Ramu, jaake darwaza kholo. Be the Ramu of your house, do everything. And obviously, as a householder, you can just sit and do kitty parties because they are not going to make you look pretty. They just make you become fat. So think about everything, how you can get active in life. So maybe take up like to running or walking or swimming or going back to your dance class where you learn Kathak, Bharatnatyam. So a woman has so many avenues where she can learn to become active again. So activity would be over sedentary anytime.
Brilliant. And can I get back to before your lifestyle? How did you reach here? What's the story? What's the story behind Nishriin? Where are you originally from? Where have you spent all these years?
Okay, so this Nishriin was born in the year 1966. Okay, and at the age of 15, I started to learn karate, and that was the year 1982. Now I'm going back to years so that it strikes you up.
Yeah.
And 1987, I got my black belt. I topped the class in my, like in the sense we have kata.
In the cohort.
Yeah, in the entire thing, and also then was on the national team for karate. So my advice to everyone is that you're never too old, okay, to start wherever you are. Then I took up to motherhood and getting the kids to grow up, but still was teaching aerobics. That was like for 20 years.
Wow.
So Jane Fonda of India, right here. And when I turned 50, okay, that's when my kids said, Mom, you've been the best mom, you've been the best wife. Do you give yourself the chance to be the best you?
Hmm.
So that's when I decided that I would go for Glad Rags Miss India.
Hmm.
And when I stepped up on that Maureen Wadia's show, Bombay Dying, and that's when I realized that there were lots of people in the line with me, about 800, but I managed to get to final 20, which is commendable because everyone was in their 20s and 30s. So that's when I said that, okay, maybe I can do something in the pageant industry.
Hmm.
But then I looked very fit.
Hmm.
So I said, why don't I do something in the fitness field? And that's when the bodybuilding shows were happening.
Hmm.
It required me to wear a bikini on stage.
Hmm.
But trust me, I don't look bad in a bikini. So I said, fine, I will do this.
Huh.
Okay. So I stepped on stage to represent, now currently I represent India for the Asia and the World Bodybuilding with the IBBF Federation.
Wow.
So it's been last 8 years that I've been going on stage with the 20-year-olds, and there's nothing but respect I get from the entire crowd because they know that she's turning like older, but she's out there as a strong Indian woman to show that India has strong women.
What's the antecedents? And you did share that you're a Gujarati, right? Or you're married into a Gujarati
Yeah,
household.
so I'm a Bori,
Yeah.
which would be the Islamic community, married to a Gujarati Jain.
Yeah.
So I've seen the best of both, being a Hindu as well as being an Islamic person. And I follow my religion now, which is my own religion, which I would say is discipline. So
Very nice.
so now it is obviously doing my best each moment of my life. So that would be training hard every single day. So I'm in the gym every single day. I do weight training, which I feel is very, very essential because not only for men, but also for women, because our bodies every day are losing muscle. Every single day we are going to be like, today I'm maybe 29, I'm going to be 30 years old, 40 years old. So what I'm going to lose is muscle. So what I want to do is build the muscle, retain the muscle, and not have a muscle loss.
So one thing before we start off, right? I stayed for two of my best years in Ahmedabad. And
Are we talking about doklas here? Talking about theplas?
and fafdas and
Yes.
khakdas
Okay.
and the sweets.
And the amount of carbohydrate laden food that is kakra and everything that you mentioned.
And more importantly, I had a wonderful opportunity to be having food multiple times in a Bohra house.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
And they were so nice. I'm a vegetarian, but the mother of my friend would be so nice. She would cook separately for me, a vegetarian but in a
Bori
Bohra
dish,
style.
Bori
Yeah.
style. So
Yeah. And
it's-
it would taste so different. The spice mix. I think it's also a lot of fats that get into the food to give that taste. I don't know what goes
but
in.
you're remembering it.
Oh,
Okay.
Wow. Oh, wow.
To all
And-
the Bodis watching out there, Bala would like to be invited home. Don't forget,
No, I would like to be like I think I can't miss.
vegetarian Bodi food.
No, the niceness, I think, more than anything, the cordiality and generosity you people have, that just stays with me. But that brings to the point, like when you are surrounded with so much of tasty food, how do you make that transition to healthy food, or like the right balance of healthy and tasty? What's the motivation source?
So see, like if you walk into a wedding, okay,
Yeah.
I'm talking about we having a certain number of calories in a day.
Yeah.
Like each one needs between 1100 to 1500 to 2000 calories in a day.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are spreading it by eating a breakfast, a lunch, an evening snack, and a dinner. So you try and get your 2500, let's take a number 2500 or 3000 through the day. Now, what happens in a wedding?
Hmm.
You walk through that entire courses of food that they have, because they
Yeah.
want to make you feel like a
Yeah.
king or a queen.
Yeah.
So they lay out every country food for you.
And my mouth is watering by
And
the way.
then what will happen is that you will finish with 8,000 calories
Yes.
in that one meal.
Yeah.
Do we need it? What is it going to do to our system? So think wise. Like you have a certain amount of money in your pocket, you walk through a mall and you will see LV and you will see Burberry, but no, I can't afford it. The same way I'm going to tell myself with the food also. I can't afford this in my system, because what am I going to do with it? So I will take what I need to fuel my body, because you want to fuel your body, you don't want to kill your body.
Does Indian food, especially for vegetarians like me, because you also are in a Gujarati household,
Do justice to
the macronutrient.
So macronutrients, if you want to talk to general people to understand, macronutrients are carbohydrate, protein and fat. So in your plate, you need your carbohydrate, which is all your grains, your vegetables and your fruits. Okay. Then you have a protein, which could be an animal source like a chicken or a fish or an
dal.
egg. Or then dal again becomes 64% carbohydrate. So it's more towards a carbohydrate. You have soy, you can have like dairy sauces, paneer, cheese. So in your plate you're having your vegetables, your roti. Again, roti and vegetables become your carbohydrate. Okay. Your protein will be coming from your dahi, paneer if you're vegetarian. But the amount of and good fat. We're talking about good fat, which comes from your sources, like your little bit of, like your ghee, of course, but also from your seeds and nuts, like almonds, walnuts, your pumpkin seeds. Looking at good fat. We're not looking at fat from the dabba, like ghee that you put. So, if you're looking at a balanced meal, I find that a lot of times people who are vegetarian, their protein content for the day is never met. So if I am 50 kilos, I need 1 gram kilo body weight, 1 gram of protein per. So if I am 50 kilos, I need minimum 50 grams of protein if I'm a general housewife. But if I'm an active person and I'm like really moving around, then it is literally double the quantity. It would be 2 or 2.5 grams per kilo body weight.
So now, between 50 gram to 125 gram you
need if you're an active person. And I'm hoping that the world gets very active. I'm hoping India gets very active. So that means we are looking at Indians having more protein. Because that does not happen if you're eating vegetarian. There is just look into it, ask anyone, what protein sources do I need? And try and match up to some number that is required. Because protein is a building block for ourselves. If you look at me today, I'm holding muscles, like I'm literally holding muscles. Okay? I will not let my muscle go, because I see to it that in my food, I have a good source of protein coming in. Very, very important. And because I'm active, I will look at the quantity of protein much more than 50 grams.
So there are 3 aspects on this answer I would want to ask for more opinion and information. One is, what is the ideal weight? You said a 50 kg woman, right? Is it easy for women to be a 50 kg for a sedentary housewife is question number 1. Or what is the ideal weight? The second question is, when you say muscle, why should someone have muscle, right? Because is it really important? And third question is, how do we maintain muscle and how will it help us? We can start with the first question, which is, what is the typical weight range? And it might not just be vegetarians, right? It might even be any housewife.
So there is generally a specific weight that is given by the
BMI, body mass index.
So BMI will tell you that if you're 50 kilos, you need BMR also, okay? You need these many calories for your basic. So that will batting your eyelids, listening, talking.
Metabolism.
So your basic metabolism metabolic rate and your BMI
Yeah.
kind of are the ones that will guide you. That today, if I'm 5'11",
Yeah.
I mean I'm 5'1",
Yeah.
I am between 153 centimeters to 165 centimeters. I could weigh from say 55 to 65. So there are numbers which are given. Now we look at ourselves and we know, okay, by now I'm in this frame. Am I looking like
Lean?
or muscular, or I'm looking in the
Obese. Yeah.
So you can see from your own bodies. So
And is it important to be lean?
see, every time you're carrying excess weight,
Yeah.
eventually
Yeah.
you're loading your organs, you're loading your joints, you're loading your cardiovascular system to work more without assisting it with the right weight to be what you are supposed to be. Like, if you ask anybody who is a little bit overweight, are you happy? They would say that we would want to be in an ideal weight. So everybody tries to get to an ideal weight. That's why we have so many, people who will be walking in the park or working out in the gym or taking those runs every day or playing games to stay in that ideal body weight range to be the most fittest that they can be.
Yes.
So being fit is very, very essential.
And being active is the first step to be being fit.
Yes. If you're fit, you're active. If you're active, you're fit. They will just go together.
Understood.
So get them both together in your life.
And typically what people think is, I'll just cut my food and I'll lose weight. Does that happen?
So calorie deficit is what the word is. Calorie restriction is another word. When you check on a BMR, you will know that you need 1300 calories or 1200 calories or maybe 1500 calories. Now I need 1500, but I keep going to these parties and that 1500 is never 1500. It becomes 2500 one day, 3000 another day.
Yeah.
So what am I doing is like a bank.
Yeah.
I'm collecting those extra things, and where is the bank going to show? Like in your account shows that my fixed deposit is growing. My fixed deposit of body fat starts to change me to look from what I looked when I got married to now what I look when I am married for 10 years and married for 20 years, or when you were 15 as a teenager and you were dating and now you're married, and this is how the transformation takes place. So transformation with calorie intake is what is the tread line.
So one thing, I remember what you're saying. So there are some of these podcasts that I listen to, especially from experts who are working on anti-aging. Peter Sinclair or Huberman and all this.
Yeah, Huberman.
What they say is something very interesting, right? So they say that if you're only depending on food or calorie deficit to work wonders on your body, it doesn't, because your body automatically has a metabolism adjuster. If you start reducing your calorie intake, your metabolism slows down so that you will remain the way you are. You need
to add the activity.
Yes.
So without an activity and just calorie restriction is
Nothing
not going to
works.
work. So you can't sit back and say that I will just eat one peanut every day. It's not going to work, because you need to get that activity for your basal metabolic rate to go up,
Absolutely.
to burn more calories at rest,
Yep.
and then you should be sorted.
And the second question now is, why is muscle important? Like, let's assume someone stays active, someone eats a calorie restricted diet, right, or calorie deficit intake of food. Why do they need muscle?
Okay, tell me one thing. When you're born, you start to crawl, you start to walk. With what assistance do you do that? Because of the muscle that you have as you're growing from a baby to a toddler to a teenager to what is this Gen Z and all those things that you go into. So 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80.
Midlifer.
Okay? So throughout your life, the work of the muscle is allowing you to do all your mobility movements of walking. So would you not say muscle is important? Because what happens when somebody has muscle atrophy? they are unable to even do the basic. So would you not say muscle is important? Because if the child, with the usage of his muscle, is able to start from lying down to crawling to walking to becoming a teenager to becoming adulthood.
Absolutely.
So it is the muscle that is assisting him so much. Now what happens? Everything is on the rise till your youth, but then everything is on a decline
after 25 or after 30.
After a certain time of life.
Yeah.
So when you're young, you're just able to tell me one child, or as a child, do you ever sit like how you and me are sitting? They are running back and forth. They don't know what sitting is. We, as we get older, we are getting sedentary, cars to take us to office, lifts to take us to our office. You know, it's like everything is so sit down. Phones again making you sit. Netflix will make you sit. Everything makes you sit. I am sitting now. He's sitting now. Sedentary lifestyle. But on a podcast, okay? Just for the podcast, because if you have to walk, the camera can't follow us. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is that there is going to be a decline in the muscle as we age. And that is the only way one looks older. So if you will see a person who's in their 50s, you will see it on their faces, you will see it in their bodies, because they start to look like they are carrying lesser muscle. Then a man of 80, again you will realize. But all this, you can prolong your youthfulness
if you preserve your muscle.
So protein is the building block of the muscle.
Interesting.
And trust me, it's not because, but I will focus on my protein because I don't want to lose the muscle. Now, another thing is that people who are doing a lot of running, again, have a lot of muscle loss.
They have muscle loss, yes.
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 And they load carbohydrate to run more.
Yes.
But it would be very important to do strength training. Because strength training would involve you to actually make the muscle be there, retain it, and build on the muscle as you get older and older. So strength training for older people is very, very important.
Strength training for women also.
Strength training for women, definitely.
Yeah.
Because see, women, if you're not in the ideal body weight, you're loading your knee joints. So I'm seeing women with knee issues and with ankle, they are unable to carry their own weight on their knees, and their joints are hurting. They've got back, forget the women, but also people working in offices. Cervical and all these things. So strengthening is important. And being in the ideal body weight is important. So being active is important, in short. And really, really being active, also taking the right food. If you like a plant, you want to grow, you want to feed it the right thing into the soil for allow you to be blooming out nice and beautifully. So you got one life to live and every moment counts. And then why waste it with anything that doesn't help you grow? We are looking for growth. We are looking for growth in work, where growth in material stuff.
Absolutely.
But why not growth where your own health is concerned? Because what will you do with all the money in the life when you just don't have the best health?
Absolutely. This reminds me of that saying, when wealth is lost, nothing is lost. When health is lost, something is lost.
Everything is lost. You will have the money, but you won't be you'll be wheelchaired to going to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And you'll just look around and you'll say I wish I'd taken more care of myself.
You could enjoy a lot more if you're in pink of health.
Yes, definitely.
So the next question is, typically, let's come to your regimen, right? I know you have a very strenuous and very active workout style. How do you balance it out? What is your regimen like? Is there something you take pre-workout? Is there something you take while the workout, intra-workout?
So I'm going to let out secrets here.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, please.
These are very important secrets.
Yeah.
Please hear me out. I wake up in the morning. I will brush my teeth.
Yeah.
I do not have coffee or tea. I have a protein shake.
That's interesting. You start your day with
I start my day. Why? Because the entire night has gone
Yeah.
in repairing your cycle. I mean,
Yes.
it's a night time that you slept.
Yeah.
So growth and repair is happening.
Yeah.
And that happens with. So now I need to fuel it back with a good protein shake. So I wake up to a protein shake after my brushing. Okay? Followed with one little apple. Because you need a source of carbohydrate.
And
I
fiber.
would prefer apple. But if figs is fine, any fruit is fine, wherever you get strawberry, anything, whatever is seasonal, one fruit, okay, and some nuts. So you are getting protein, you're getting a good source of carbohydrate, and you're getting some good fat. So that's your wake up time in the morning. Trust me, you don't need more than this. Whether you're 100 kilos or you're 50 kilos, keep it minimal, make life easier. Don't ask for, I want this kind of dosa in the morning and this kind of an idli in the morning. Make it simple, okay? Have a protein shake, have a fruit, have your seeds and nuts. Get on with life. And that is what I wake up to. But there are some secret ingredients that I would add. Like, there's something called lemon. Limbu. Lemon, okay? A lemon is great source of vitamin C. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
But do we know that lemon outside is maybe acidic?
Yeah.
But the minute it mixes with the hydrochloric acid and the ptyalin,
Yeah.
when you take it with water,
Yeah.
it makes your system alkaline.
Wow.
So we have a pH factor,
Yeah.
which is either your system is alkaline or acidic.
Hmm.
And you know what acidic is? Acidic is when you have acidity and you have gut problems,
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
Work on making your system alkaline. You will have no pigmentation. There's no makeup on my face today. Okay, there's just kajal because that's like lifeline.
Yeah.
But we are looking at making our system alkaline. When you're looking at an alkaline system, you're looking at a person with high energy levels. Because acidity, and in an acidic system, it is pulling you down. You will have like lethargy and stuff like that. But if you're an alkaline, you are like Superman.
Or a superwoman.
Superwoman. Super being. Okay, so super being. So definitely put your lemon through your day into your simple sada pani and drink it through the day. Again, as you know, ginger, great anti-inflammatory, gastric fire to digest the food that we eat. So why not put in some ginger juice in your water?
Very nice.
Very simple. So when I hit the gym, I always carry my EAA. Okay? Because EAA is essential amino acids, which for a person like me who's working out, I don't want to be dehydrated. I want to have the energy to be sustaining through that 1 hour or 1.5 or 2 hours of weight training. So my EAA has got the lemon, it's got the ginger, it's got the EAA, which has a great flavor again. So either it's blueberry or it's watermelon. So I'm just adding to that flavor. And the minute I open it, everybody smells it around. So like, smells good. I'm like, yeah, secret.
No, that's GNC EAA for you.
Yeah, that's GNC EAA for me. And so that is the essential part that I want to let out. Post-workout is my protein shake. Again, Guardian GNC. Thank you so much. For
No,
always,
thank you so much.
Yeah. So I trust it completely, okay?
Yeah.
And along with it, there's glutamine.
Glutamine.
Yeah, so I was talking about glutamine and the importance of having no soreness, having great muscle recovery. So whether you're a runner or you're playing football or you're in any sport, okay, or maybe you're just active person. And if you're experiencing any kind of aches and pains, slight bit, like little bit here or there, trust me, 5 grams, Guardian GNC glutamine, 1 time a day. And if you don't have aches and pains, please bless me Do not curse me because they'll be gone for sure.
And also bless glutamine, the magic.
The magic.
white
Glutamine
powder.
is magical. It's very not portrayed out big, but I will speak for it. I will speak for glutamine. And,
Actually,
and trust Guardian GNC with your glutamine.
so there is one thing that that happens whenever I go for a long run. I think the scientific explanation is about lactic acid getting deposited in the muscles. So for 1 or 2 days, so immediately after run, you typically end up doing some amount of exercise. 1 or 2 specific exercises, like if I do sit downs and sit ups, right, stand ups. So that kind of pains my legs, my muscles. There's a lot of soreness, and it kind of compounds. Like for the next 2 or 3 days, whenever I walk down up the stairs or walk down the stairs.
When you're trying to sit in the pot also.
Yeah.
You're unable to.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is that a lot of times people work, okay?
Yeah.
Most of the times we work to our capacity of, if you're doing working within your range, no ego lifting and all.
Yeah.
Because you have a specific range.
Yes.
Stick to it, okay?
Yes.
Now, my neighbor is running 4 kilometers and I want to run 5 kilometers. My body cannot take it. So it's going to start complaining with a building of lactic acid. Now, lactic acid buildup definitely happens, but if you hydrate yourself,
Yes.
if you've taken the right, like pre-workout also, we have things like, we have L-arginine,
Yes.
okay? We have, I would say, leucine, citrulline.
Yeah.
So we have a pre-workout, which is very, very good.
Yeah.
So you're combating lactic acid buildup with these,
amino acids which help you.
With your EAA, BCAA, glutamine, all of it together.
Yeah.
In any sport, not just weight training. We are looking at every sport.
Any activity, even dancing.
Even if you're like doing a Zumba class or you're just having a fun. Have you realized one thing? EAA makes a fabulous evening drink with your friends.
Yeah.
If you're a person who doesn't believe in alcohol, doesn't want to drink alcohol, you can drink your EAA while your friends are having the alcohol. That's what I do.
That's interesting.
It's great.
Yeah.
So you're still, in a social environment and you're not doing the damage that alcohol can do or does do or does. Okay, so we are going back to lactic acid buildup.
And glutamine helps there.
It definitely helps, but also please focus on your mobility training.
Yes.
You can't just get into an activity without prior. You want to go for a wedding, will you just go into a wedding with your pajamas? No. You wear your outfit, you change, you wear sherwani, you wear a beautiful sari, you'll put on your makeup, you prepare. So the same way you prepare for a sport or whichever one you're going for, by a good warm-up, good hydration, good supplementation. If you need a pre-workout, like most sports need, give it to yourself. I mean, pamper yourself with these things, put in your best in your workout. Post-workout, definitely do your mobility stretches again. And then take the right nutrition back again with your, to fuel your muscle with the kind of, it's worked hard, bichara, kaam karke थक गया है उसको अच्छा सा खाना दो वापस fuel it again, so that is important.
I'm reminded when you took marriage reference, right? Manyavar has this ad, तैयार होके आइए.
सब जगह when you dress up तैयार होके, for everything in life, every moment के लिए तैयार हो जाओ.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, there is one other thing which I usually end up taking post workout, which is creatine. I mean, I really think that is one brilliant ingredient. I don't know what you feel about it.
I feel that creatine is good. Though not necessarily it has to be post workout. It could be used, like I use creatine in the morning when I have my first protein shake.
So you add creatine
3 grams because I am a woman and I'm not my kilo wise I'm under 50 kilos. So for me 3 grams works the best. But it is there in my, like I make my protein shake without the water part. I keep it ready in the night because when I wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning, I don't want to add. So I'm going to add isabgol to it. add 3 grams of creatine to it.
Isabgol, by the way, is dietary fiber.
Yes.
It's psyllium husk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it is good.
Yeah.
It's very good. Okay.
Yeah.
So I will add 5 grams of that.
Yeah.
5 grams of glutamine. Even though I've not started my activity, but my morning shake will have my glutamine,
Okay.
it'll have my creatine, and it'll have the isabgol.
Creatine, I mean, there is this misconception in market or in women that creatine is not for women.
No, because see, muscle needs is very, very, I would say that creatine really helps muscle, retaining the muscle.
Yes.
But also now we are finding it that it's very good for
brain health.
brain health.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I don't want dementia,
Yeah.
I got scared. I said, I don't want dementia. I want to remember everything till the last day of my life.
Ah.
So I'm going to have creatine. So 3 grams works for me.
So actually, when you say this neuro or nootropic properties or brain stimulation properties of creatine, right? Even big podcasts. This is like Elon Musk and I think if I'm not wrong, Joe Rogan. In their podcast, they spoke about creatine being a nootropic, and Elon Musk says, or Joe Rogan says actually, that even if you are
Not
active at all,
Not active. You still
right?
need it.
You still need creatine. Like you can replace other stimulants in your life with a creatine.
Yeah. Definitely work. Like even at work.
Yeah.
Okay. When you can actually focus.
Yes.
It can do that to you.
Yes. It brings in some mental clarity.
Yeah.
And also there is this thing like what I use. Like I am also off stimulants. I'm not on caffeine. I'm not on tea. Right, and I've actually suggested this combination to a lot of people, and there are interesting ways that people come back. Like there is this one founder friend, Thriveco is a D2C firm which is into performance skincare. So the founder Saurav once told me, like I introduced him to L-carnitine. So he tells me ki after I introduced him, he was a caffeine addict almost. Like he would load himself of caffeine throughout the day because it gives you
that high. I mean, that attention span and everything.
Yes. And then he says that what he started doing, I told him, you need to cut down your caffeine, start replacing it with L-carnitine.
Wow.
Right? And we have our liquid L-carnitine, which is you can replace it. You can take it in multiple steps throughout the day. What he had done is he carries this hydration ke liye, this big water tank, like this gallon tank. Throughout the day he keeps sipping. So every day in the morning, and he has a goal, throughout the day he has to finish it. He adds 15 ml of L-carnitine to it.
So it's a tasty drink also.
It's a tasty drink, and he says that I now microdose myself with a neural stimulant throughout the day.
And no caffeine is happening.
No caffeine, and it's a 0 calorie, 0 added sugar,
Great
neural
taste.
booster.
No, but the taste is very good because let me tell you. So that was my morning when I told you I have this. But before I hit the gym, it's L-carnitine, it's L-arginine. Okay, for sure. I don't know if you know of, I mean, you definitely know Thermoburst. Okay, so Thermoburst again.
Metabolism booster.
So, but L-carnitine works beautifully on your fat, fat cells.
Metabolism.
Yeah, so if you're looking to lean up, it is like a magic.
Who is not?
Who's not? It works magic. So never a day, even like if Sunday is my rest day, I don't not take any of these things. I will still take my L-arginine. I will still take my L-carnitine. Nothing stops.
This is something that's coming up in your conversation. How come you are such an L-arginine convert?
L-arginine is a very good nitric oxide precursor, right? But also it is great for anti-aging.
And by the way, that's a naturally occurring amino acid, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like that watermelon thing, if I'm not wrong, or is it found somewhere else?
No. Let me tell you. So L-arginine, minimum requirement, if you want to look pretty or handsome, for lifetime.
Who doesn't want to?
So at least look into 1,000 mg every day.
L-arginine?
Yes.
1,000 mg?
Guardian GNC has it. Please check it out. I mean, like, I have So I will never be. So youthful, uh, energy, crazy.
Nitric oxide booster.
Yes, because it's not just for workouts, but if you're heading to work also, and you're still like having to make decisions for your business deals and meetings and all, it works fabulously well for you to make the best decisions. Genuinely, being a brand athlete for Guardian GNC, when they came to India,
Yeah.
the first person they took on board is me. So I am so, I mean, if you say, when you trust your husband, I trust GNC.
Thanks a lot. No, actually, I'll want to say something, Nishriin, here. Instead of saying we chose you, you chose us. You allowed us to be represented by you.
Humble as
No,
you can be.
No. So there is a reason we call ourselves the choice of champions, because champions chose us. We are the choice of champions.
I know the run said it.
No, that's funny.
So
I
how
agree.
often are we going to have these runs?
So we are currently doing it at a frequency of 2 weeks, once in Delhi, once in Bombay. So every month in Delhi we'll have the run. Every month in Bombay we are having the run. What our aim is, probably to make it a weekly affair in both Delhi and Mumbai. I know Dia is looking
So
and
we are
ready
trying to make
kill me.
India very active, at least in Mumbai and Delhi.
We
Till
want to
Calcutta comes in.
till Bangalore comes asking,
Bangalore. Yeah,
until Chennai comes asking.
Why not?
Why not? Why not? Why not? Let people make us as profitable
But
as we
today's
can be.
run was a complete hit.
Yeah.
And I love the way that, everybody really was looking into their goodie bag and feeling very happy to see what was inside. Please tell me.
No, there was we have an amazing support from lot of D2C ecosystem players, our friends and family more than anything. All are made in India products. So there's Bella Vita perfume.
Okay.
There's Bevzilla coffee.
Wow.
And most importantly, there is Bella Vita sunscreen. We are trying to promote that as a product which is good for health. If you are out there, if you are staying active.
So it's more Ayurveda based, right?
No. Sunscreen is an active compound.
Okay.
Like it has all the protective elements. Then we also have Bohico, which is Bombay Hemp Company's pain roll-on. Because if you're an active person and you're starting out for the first time, you are of course bound to have certain amount of pain in your joints, pain in your knees. Pain is the reality of life, right? And this helps. I'm not talking
It's the
about
reality of life.
I'm not talking of heart pain. Maybe you have a better life. So again, Bombay Hemp Company.
Joy is the reality of life.
Joy is the reality of life.
Okay.
Yes. Happiness is a state of mind. No, so, but more than that, if a goodie bag can motivate people to come out and run, to stay active, to become healthy, I
We'll
think
give out goodie bags to every single person in
every
life.
single person.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, more than anything, I think the biggest joy is when people continue to run, and the next time they come to run for the community, they come to run probably to meet
Because
us.
it's very important to the feeling of belonging.
Yes.
So
yes.
if we all belong
Yeah.
and we live well,
Yeah. And that explains.
we'll
Right?
stay together
Yes, that explains.
as a strong country.
Yeah. So joy is the reality then.
Yes.
It brings back like, so one, I do want to ask you something which is a little more, I would say, the subaltern or something, the topic that is not spoken, which is, if you see supplements as a market in India, or even fitness as a market in India, it's very men driven, right? It doesn't have a lot of female representation. One, it doesn't have a lot of people addressing female concerns, especially if you take different stages of life. We did talk about women
like,
after a certain age needing strength training, but women between, like in their adolescence or in their youth, also go through like a loss of lot of minerals, right? You lose out a lot of iron.
So what we are trying to explain here is that as a woman, you go through the teenage years, entering through menstrual cycle. Okay, so we'll have mood swings.
Yes.
We have something called uh, pre-menstrual,
Yeah, PMS.
madness
Yeah.
actually, because you're angry at everyone,
Yeah.
and you're angry with your parents, or you're angry with, if you're like dating someone, you're angry with that poor boy. So
You're
these
angry
are
with
things.
your husband.
Yeah, angry. So women go through stages of life where they will hit the stage where they're menstruating, then they hit something called motherhood. Okay, when they give birth to babies, so they become moms. Then they have something called menopause, which is a complete end to your womanhood. So these stages happen in life. Sometimes with the right nutrition, like as I have, like I have people in my age, and they are like, oh, we are premenopausal, or we are already menopause, and we have these hot flushes, and we are irritable all the time, and we have anxiety. I don't have any of these things. Maybe it is a lot to look into yourself to see what you're eating. Are you getting enough rest and recovery? Is your activity synonymous with the lifestyle that you're leading? So all that comes right. Even when you are a 14, 15-year-old, you are in school, you have peer pressure, so some things you will cause anxiety. And throughout, you are looking at eating the right food in your
Yeah.
macros, whether you're 15 or whether you're 30 or you're 50 or you're 80, whether you're a woman or a man. So your macros, your protein, carbohydrate, fat, right from your day of your birth, you start with your protein, which is your milk from your mother's, and then you move on to some cereal, which will become your carbohydrates. So you're introducing food slowly, slowly. So the same way, you start to introduce things like, like literally, I'll tell you, we have magnesium, we have zinc.
Yeah.
Together we have zinc, magnesium, acetate.
Yeah, aspartate.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that is ZMA.
Yeah.
We have something called calcium.
Yes.
We have calcium citrate.
Yeah.
We have fish oil capsule with the omega 369.
Yeah.
So these are small supplements. I can name a lot more, okay? Somewhere in your food, something is not coming in every single day, at every meal, okay? You're lacking in your minerals, you're lacking in your vitamins. So there is a nutritional gap
Yes.
that needs to be filled.
Yeah.
So you have to look into it that we as human beings do need some supplementation to fill that nutritional gap.
Yeah.
And if we had to do a rapid fire, he says one supplement, I say one supplement. In a sense, if I say magnesium,
I'll probably say zinc.
I will say melatonin.
Manganese.
Magnesium.
Manganese, selenium.
Manganese, yes, selenium.
Yeah.
I will say fish oil capsule.
I'll probably say calcium.
Somebody please give us more names.
Then there is iron, folic acid.
Yes, then there's folic. Folic acid is so important for pregnancy, for every woman that's menstruating, because they are losing blood and they are losing out on iron.
Yeah.
So the hemoglobin count
Yes.
drops, and
Yes.
so everything matters.
Yes.
So good health matters no matter what age you are at, whether you're a man or a woman. Fill the nutritional gap
Yeah.
with the right supplements.
And it is not wrong to do that.
How can it be wrong?
Yeah.
You want to live to your best,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we are going to have anxiety, temper tantrums. Look at the way the metropolitans are now. You want to be like a Zen guy,
You want to have peaceful sleep.
peaceful sleep, and that Zen mode
Yeah. Yeah.
where you are there in the moment,
Yeah.
whichever moment it is. So seriously, if you eat the right food, take the right supplementation, help yourself with the right hydration, right activity, you are in the live well stage of life, at whichever stage you are.
And you can look young at 58 also.
Yes, pretty.
Thanks a lot, Nishriin. Thanks
Okay.
for all the time. Thanks
No,
for
but
all
Bala,
the.
it was a pleasure meeting you and the entire team at GNC. all I can say is that's my family. Okay.
Thanks a lot for saying that.
Yes.
Thanks a lot for saying that. You guys make what we are today.
It's always reciprocal. Energies are contagious.
Go make us lot more proud. Go make us
So I'm
India
going to
proud.
be, I've been representing India for the Asia and the World Bodybuilding for the last 8 years. The only one on the world stage at this age with the 20-year-olds, and seriously loving every moment of the hard work I put in my life. I mean, people look around and say, why do you want to do this? You're doing ad shoots, you're doing, competition training. But I've got one life to live. It's like a butterfly, you know.
And there is so much energy.
Yeah, I mean, you've come into this world. You don't want to go away without being remembered first, but you want to be grateful to yourself for having got this life to live to the best. So there is a butterfly at the back. It stands for transformation.
Yes.
How from a small cocoon you come out beautifully into this world. And you know your life is short, but you still come out with the best colors. I want to do that with my life. I want everyone to be living their best in the moment that they get.
Let me end it with two things about what you said. Let's celebrate metamorphosis
Okay.
and to being an excelsior throughout. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.